Hey, there you are. Welcome back. Episode 34. Today I have a super interesting conversation with Butch Boswell of Boswell Guitars. Butch makes guitars for Mark Knopfler. Yep, that's correct. I have 1 degree separation away from Mark Knopfler. We talk about how Butch started out as a luthier, how the relationship began with Mark Knopfler, the custom guitars he's building now, and really all about his journey through the luthier world. Please like, please subscribe. Let's get into it. Hey, what is up, Butch? Thank you for joining the club. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Listen, man, I am so psyched to have you here. I'm glad we were able to make this work today. Really appreciate your time. So tell me, you're out in Washington State, is that right?
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I get my
that's okay.
Pacific
Right, like
Northwest.
right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle of Oregon in the high desert of Bend.
And are you getting that super cold weather this week?
Oh man, it's been. I think it's gotten above freezing once in the last 7 or 8 days, and it was for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah,
And now it's just been this freezing fog that has just settled in so everything outside is white, and it's not snow. It's just everything's just frozen. It's
yeah,
wild.
yeah. As long as you have everything you need, I kind of love it. I kind of
Oh,
love
me
it.
too. It's a little stressful, making sure that the shop is maintained and that the humidity is good, and there's lots of filling up the humidifiers and things like that. And but it's going real nice out here. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
nice. And I want to get you've got a new shop, right? You just moved into a new
yeah,
place?
yeah. I've
Awesome.
been I have always I used to have shops that were kind of a retail, like a combination of retail and repair shops. And
Okay.
actually, you can see the old sign. And I'm wearing my shirt, Butch's Guitar and Repair. That was
Yeah.
from years and years ago, 15, 12 years ago, something like that. And I always had to have a shop separate from my home. And after I got up here in Bend and started going down the road of just building full time, I finally realized that makes absolutely no sense at all. So, um, about 6 months ago, I stumbled upon a really great property that had the ability to have my home and shop all in one space, and it was a hell of a move, but it took like 5 months to get settled in.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean, I had to build out the shop, electrical, you name it, everything. I had to do it all, and so it was quite a move. But I'm rolling now.
That's great. It is a
Yeah.
lot of work to move a shop like that, and
Oh
just
man.
getting set up is a ton of work as well. But it is
Yeah.
nice to have everything on one site. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh man, and I have 3 kids, and I'm my wife and I are divorced. We're great co-parents. We really still admire one another.
Yep.
We're very fortunate, but I have 3 kids, and I found myself like moving their beds up the front stairs by myself on like day 3. I was just like, I gotta just get this stuff done,
Yeah.
and I'm like moving cabinets and beds like up these stairs and into the house by myself. And I had to get the kids set up in their rooms, and so moving the home was a big thing, and then moving the shop came second, and it was just I was already exhausted, and it took its toll. It
Yeah.
was crazy.
Well, kudos to you for having a an amicable divorce. I've got one of
Yeah,
those as well, and it's great for
yeah.
the kids that
Oh man,
everybody is
yeah,
everybody's good.
yeah,
So I want
absolutely.
to talk about, obviously I want to get to the Mark Knopfler stuff. I'm super interested in that, but I want to go a little bit back before that. How old were you and when was it in your life that you started building guitars? Has it always been something in your life?
It's funny because I've always said no to that. I've always said no, no. I never wanted to be a guitar maker. I came into this world more as a guitar player, but kind of just recently, this is kind of weird. I just remembered being in the dorms in college at Cal Poly before I got a job in any guitar shops or anything like that. And of course, I played a lot of guitar, but I remember being in the dorms and drawing in these. I had these little journals and drawing guitar headstocks and logos, and it just like came back to me. So it's weird. It's almost like it was in my subconscious
Yeah,
that
I've
I
been.
well, because
Yeah.
I was going to school for architecture and design, and so I liked just the look of guitars. I'm rebuilding my website right now, and I'm talking about this, and so it's kind of fresh in my mind. But I'm like, I approached guitar playing with this appreciation of, man, I just love guitars and how they
Mhm.
look, and they're just like sexy,
Mhm.
and I just thought they were the greatest things ever, and so it kind of was back there somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, but starting out, I was more, what can I do? What kind of work can I do to supplement my guitar playing habit?
Hmm.
And so I would get uh, jobs in little local guitar shops. I worked in the shop Blue Note Music in San Luis Obispo, California, and you know, instantly took a hand to restringing, cleaning. The owner was like, "Wow, you know how to handle guitars. Like, I'm impressed." Because I was like 19, 18, and so yeah, I started out more as like guitar playing. I was in bands, and I just had this passion for music, which I still do. And I don't play as much. I'm kind of, because you get sick of guitars
Yeah.
eventually. I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to touch a guitar. But I worked in shops as kind of a tech,
Gotcha.
and developed my hand in repairs, and then started down the road of restoration work. And after years of doing that, I got to be pretty dang good at Martin warranty work. And by the time fast forward to 2007, I think it was, that's after I had worked at Taylor Guitars. I worked for Rudy's Music out in New York City.
Okay.
But in 2007, I opened my own shop, Butch's Guitar and Repair. And I mean, I was just absolutely inundated. I had a great reputation in the area, and I was just inundated with repair work from the second I opened the doors, before I opened the doors.
Wow.
And it just never stopped. And, um, and it wasn't until 4 or 5 years of doing that I kind of was like, I kind of want to build a guitar and just see what that's like.
Did you have any woodworking experience at that point, or just the repair work that you'd done?
Oh, I took woodworking class in high school, and I was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I built this cabinet, and I think my somehow or another, my boss at Blue Note Music, Peter Morin, got his hands on it. He kept it, and it's just the biggest piece of crap you could ever imagine. I was terrible.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it came with lots of practice.
sure, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, and obviously, you're building exquisite instruments now. Are you still
thanks.
doing repair today?
No,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, I was actually just going. I had a guy reach out to me because I'm still on the Martin page, and a guy reached out to me, and boy, he was just all bent out of shape, and he's like, I've tried getting in touch with you 3 or 4 times, and I went back and looked at my voicemails, and I was like, oh crud, I didn't get back to this guy, so it's on me. And I reached out to him. I'm like, I'm really sorry, and I can't take in any repair work right now. And he's like, well, maybe you should get off the Martin warranty page then. And I was like, geez, what a jerk. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, he's got a point. I have people calling and asking, and I'm consistently saying no. So I think I'm going to have to reach out to them and say, go ahead and take me down for a while. And I've been a Martin warranty guy for like 20 years, so um, I still am open to doing, because I love the vintage restoration work. And Rudy from Rudy's Repair in
Yeah.
New York still sends me, every once in a while he'll call me, and when something is just like way out of his guy's realm, like I did a Gibson, what was it, J1, a 185 recently, that was,
Mhm.
it was just annihilated. And it
Wow.
took me just weeks and weeks and weeks of just little bits here and there every day. And of course, neck reset and a new
Hmm.
bridge and all that stuff. And so I still like to do that stuff occasionally, but for the most part, no, I'm busy. I'm I'm buried and busy with builds.
Yeah. I could also imagine in the repair world, like it's okay to work with the instruments themselves, but not all the time is it okay to work with the customers. They're a different story.
Yeah, repair world, you get more of that. I'm really fortunate in the building world
Yeah.
with
Yes.
with all the clients I've had. I've been pretty damn lucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, repair every once in a while you get somebody that's kind of just
Yeah.
tough,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
tough.
it's an emotional thing, I'm sure. But then
Yeah,
again, when you're building guitars, you're working with people who are just over the moon excited about the possibility of what's going to be
yeah.
coming.
They come to me already sold.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I'm not having to convince them of anything. Um, and then in the repair world, the guy that comes in with his 1979 Martin
yeah,
D28, that's the best Martin he's ever heard in his life. And
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
he's like, "Well, so tell me what have you done? What's your
yeah,
background?" And I'm like,
yeah,
"Dude, really? I've been doing this for longer than you've played guitar. I've You own three guitars. I've handled like 30,000.
yeah,
Like I it's going to be fine."
yeah. So you
So,
mentioned Rudy's out in New York City, right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
And doing my research, it was through Rudy's music that was this magical connection that happened, right? Back in
Oh yeah,
2020.
absolutely. And I still refer to Rudy as the architect
Yeah,
because he has just designed and built out my career, at least the last 3 or 4 or 5 years of it, with um, his generosity and also his belief in what I'm doing.
yeah. No, that's amazing. It's amazing that it just seems like a really great story that I want to get
Yeah,
into. So,
sure.
is it fair to say that I am now one connection away from Mark Knopfler? Like, do you have his phone number?
Yeah, you're 1 degree.
Yeah, 1 degree away. Okay,
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. I do. Did you say do I have his phone number?
Yeah,
I I've I've emailed him a bunch. We email back and forth,
yeah,
which is still weird to me. I'm just like, dude, I should not be emailing this guy. And then he is the kindest, warmest, most giving and thoughtful. Like, I
yeah,
mean, listen to his songs. I mean, how does the guy come up with music like that? And it's because of the kind of person he is.
yeah.
So, you know, getting paired up with any person at his status, I I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, the guy is just the coolest guy. So I've emailed with him a bunch. And recently I did get to talk to him on the phone, and I was like, I did not want to get on the phone. I was so nervous. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do it.
No, I mean he's if not my all-time favorite player, top three for sure. And
Yeah,
to your point, just seems like a really, really solid, upstanding guy,
yeah.
which sounds amazing. But take me back. Was it 2020 when he walked into Rudy's and found one of your guitars down there?
Well, let's see, 2020. It's 20. Yeah, 2019, maybe
Okay,
2020. I should know that date better, but
before or after
he.
COVID?
It was before.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And uh, actually, just on the cusp,
Yeah,
because what happened was I started this project. Um, I've always loved the post-war student model all mahogany Martin guitars.
hmm
The
hmm
17s,
yeah,
they call them 15s now.
yeah,
But the style 17s, especially like the single O, I always owned double O size. Um, and I have this picture of me playing a playing one out in my front yard with my daughter, who was probably maybe like 1.5, sitting next to me with her curly hair, just like reaching out and touching the fingerboard. And my best friend in the world, my buddy Matt, is sitting on the other side, and we're just out in the yard playing guitar together. And I'm holding a 1948, I think, 0017. I've always had this draw. I've owned several of them, and I like old, kind of funky, old beat up guitars myself,
hmm
which is kind of ironic with what I make. Um, and So I started this project, and I was like, I want to do a little run, and I didn't have a ton of orders at this time. This was not. This was pre reconnecting with Rudy. I worked for him years prior. We kind of stayed in touch, checking in with each other once a year maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started this project. I want to do a little batch of these all mahogany guitars, and I came across these beautiful old Honduran mahogany boards. I resawed them up myself in house, which I love to do. I process a lot of wood,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had all the material, and I was like, I got to do it. And COVID was hitting, and I was like, and aside from that, I need a project that I can pre-sell 10 or 11 slots now
Mm-hmm.
before it's too late, and have some cash just in case. And so I announced these 10 build slots, and reached out to Rudy, and he was like, he had bought. Okay, so by this point he had commissioned me to build him a couple guitars, because I reached out to him and he's like, yeah, I want two of them. I want two of the slots. I was like, okay, and I'm making an 11th that I'm going to keep myself, which never happens. Every builder is like, oh, I'm going to build like 3 guitars. One's for me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, right. Someone's like, hey, I'll buy it. And you're like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
sold. Yeah, I got bills to pay. So I fortunately sold every slot. I mean, for just a fraction of what I'm getting now for guitars,
Yeah.
just like 1/10.
Wow.
But it's okay. It did what it was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a project. I had income guaranteed for the next several months. And so Rudy got his 2. One was for him, and one he sold to a customer. And he just lost his mind over these little guitars. Single O, all mahogany, with my 3 Sisters inlay at the 12th fret, my homage to the 3 Sisters Mountains here in Bend.
Cool.
And so it was a very, very me centralized guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And Rudy loved it. And I said, well, listen, I've got this 11th one. And I don't think I'm going to be able to keep it. Do you want it? And he's like, yeah. And I had, since it was for me, I had set aside just the best sets and all this stuff. And I told him that. And I'm like, so I have to charge you a little more. And he's like, okay, whatever. And he's like, well, I have someone in mind for this guitar that's special. I'm like, okay, great. So I send it to him, done with the project, sold, all good. And like 2 weeks later, I start getting these text messages from Rudy, and he's like, and he's taking a photograph of a text chain between him and someone else. And he keeps sending me, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on it. It looks gorgeous. And if it's as good as you say it is, it's just going to be great. And they're just kind of going on and on about it with each other. And finally, I'm like, who is this? And he goes, call me. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. And I call Rudy, and I have to do the Rudy voice, okay? And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, Butch, you're not going to believe this. This is Mark Knopfler. This is Mark that I am talking to in these texts. You're going to go crazy. I'm like, what? And I'm like, wait a minute. Like Mark Knopfler, like Knopfler from Dire Straits, and they're buddies. They're really good friends. And so
Yeah.
and so he goes, yeah, and he wants you to make him a video about the guitar and about what your ideas were behind it. He hasn't gotten it yet, but I'm shipping it to him. I'm like, okay. So I had to sit down and do this like minute-long video just saying what the guitar was and why I made it, and then playing a little bit on one of them for Mark Knopfler. I'm like, I wanted to do like Sultans of Swing or something as a joke, but I'm like, no, dude, don't. Just keep it straight. Keep it straight.
Gee.
And yeah, so anyway, so Mark got it, and I wasn't speaking with him at that point, and Rudy's like, Butch, he loves it. And I'm like, okay, great. And a few months went by, and Rudy is like, hey, Mark wants your email address. Is that okay? And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, okay. And so he reached out to me and he goes, Butch, I just wanted to let you know what a great guitar this is. It's now my little favorite. It sits in my studio next to my recording chair. It's what I pick up to do all my ideas on. I have one problem with the guitar, though. and I'm reading, and I'm like going, "Oh God, what? Did like the
Yeah.
bridge come off or something?" Or, and he's like, "My daughter keeps stealing it and won't give it back, so I need another guitar." And I'm like, and he's like, "I want one of your OMs, like the one you made for Rudy with the tunnel redwood top. And can you tell me a little bit about the tunnel redwood?" So that opened up a whole new um, story, really. Um,
I have some questions. So
yeah, go ahead.
your life changed when that happened, right?
It it was just starting to.
The trajectory of the past 5 years from then, I'm sure, has just been a wild, nonstop, just nonstop building of these things.
Well, no, I mean it accelerated my career for sure, but but I'm only making um, I, I'm
Making
not.
less.
Well, I'm actually making a ton of like custom order models,
Yeah.
not the MK models, and we can talk about how that works. But go ahead and finish your line of thought
Um,
there.
yeah. So I will get into that. But was there anything that changed in how you built your guitars before talking to Knopfler and after? Like, was there anything that you started doing because of those guitars, or was there anything that you stopped doing in your builds as a result
Um,
of the relationship?
no,
Okay.
I mean the only thing I will say is that it brought to the forefront even more. I'm absolutely a perfectionist. I mean, I cannot escape it. It's just
Hmm.
who I am. It's exhausting. It bleeds into everything I do. And I
Hmm.
mean, it's like my kitchen table. I'm like, oh, I can leave that deck of cards sitting there. And like an hour later, I come up and no, I got to clean them up and put them away.
Yeah.
It's just who I am. So if you see something on the floor, you stop, you pick it up, and you handle it right then and there, and move on with what. And so um, I was already like that, but as word of my relationship with Mark Knopfler started to get out, which didn't happen for several years because I just kept quiet about it,
Hmm.
and that was at Rudy's advice, but I also just felt that was the right thing to do. Like, don't immediately go online and start bragging about something when you don't even know how much he likes the guitar fully.
True.
Like wait and let the relationship develop before you start thinking about, oh, how can I benefit from this? So years went by where I just kept doing what I was doing,
Hmm.
but it started to get out a little bit, and I was like, okay, the prices were going up dramatically. Working with Rudy, being represented by him on the East Coast, what his clients' expectations were, the woods they wanted, all that kind of stuff. So, and as that started to happen, I was like, okay, these have to be perfect.
Hmm.
Everything about these guitars has, so my perfectionism really kicked in. And I mean, what is perfect? Everybody has their own idea. There is no perfect, but I was certainly striving for as good as I could humanly do
Yeah.
with these things, and that involved, well, it involved many things, but that was the one big thing. I was like, I don't push through any aspect of these builds in an attempt to save a little time or get something done today or whatever, hit a marker. Like, slow down,
Yeah.
make sure everything is exact, and make sure everything is to my exact standards on every single guitar. So
That's true craftsmanship, and that's a testament to you as a builder and as a craftsman. And it's obviously come through in your work because
yeah,
it's just you're not cutting any corners, and you're doing everything exactly the way it needs to be done to honor the instrument and to honor
yeah,
the craft. So kudos to you
and
for
and
that.
honor the people that are buying them.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
mean, I every
exactly.
guitar I make, I make for a particular person,
Yeah.
and I've developed a relationship with that person. I don't.
Mhm.
A couple of times through Rudy's, I have sold guitars to people that I don't know and I've never spoken to, but 95% of the people I make guitars for are people that I have their email, I have their phone numbers, we text, I send them photographs throughout, I ask them questions. Do you like this fingerboard or this fingerboard, and why? And so it becomes a very personalized thing to each
Hmm.
person. And by the end, we're friends. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, like my buddy in New York, like I went out there and visited, and he put me up in he was out of town. He put me up in his apartment. Um, like I got to stay there, and by the time he got his guitar, I'm really concerned. Like, man, James better love this guitar. Like,
Yeah.
and he did. It absolutely just it just blew his top. But still, I'm like over here on the other side of the country, like, oh God, I hope James likes it, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's funny. As a craftsman, you're going to feel that way on the first build and the thousandth build. That never goes
oh
away.
yeah,
You always feel that way.
yeah,
So tell me a little bit about the custom work and the MK model.
yeah,
So I know you're doing a lot of custom work. Just tell me about that.
yeah. I mean, really, every guitar I make is a custom model. Like I said,
Yeah.
I develop. I work within a framework, like let's say an OM.
Hmm.
My OM model is built the same way, with the same goals, just about every time, uh, up to its 50% marker. And then the relationship that I develop with the client, like, okay, I want an OM because basically of the size
Hmm.
and the volume. Okay. Um, okay. So the OM model is where we're starting. We've got to 50%. Now from here, it's like, okay, well, um, talk to me about how you play. Is it finger style light strumming, flat pick attack? Okay, it's light strumming, finger style. So now we're developing ideas and questions about top material, X bracing, angle, location to the sound hole, and bridge plate. Just everything. So and then as we get through the structural and functionality aspect of what each build is for each particular person. Now you've seen pictures of my guitars. You've been on my website. What are you looking at stylistically? Okay, you want a tiled mosaic rosette. So that now we're entering into what I consider my limited models.
Hmm.
And with the limited package comes XYZ and a lot of other accoutrement. And so it's every guitar is custom. I almost never make just like this standard model, except the MK model. The
Hmm.
MK model is a standardized model based on the guitar I made for Mark.
Hmm.
Um, we've done, so I'm answering your question, two questions at once here.
That's cool.
So picking up from my earlier story and timeline of, okay, I made this little mahogany guitar for Mark, and now he wants this second guitar, and so the second guitar was an OM with a redwood top, a Koa back and side with a tunnel redwood top, and Mark he loved stories. He's a storyteller, and he loved the story of the tunnel redwood and tunnel 13 and the big train robbery outside of Ashland, Oregon, outside of tunnel 13, and we started to get more in touch at that point. And every time we talked, he would say, well, hey man, if there's anything I can ever do for you to help you out, just let me know. And I mean, literally, like every time. And I finally was like, well, how about we do a little run of MK guitars? And they won't be necessarily a Mark Knopfler signature model, but they'll be a guitar inspired by our story and relationship.
Hmm.
And it'll be something that Rudy and I and Mark Knopfler are all involved in together. And so we did the first run of MK guitars, we did 20 something of them. And Rudy got a guitar, Mark Knopfler got one. We auctioned one off for a charity that Mark deals with regularly called
Hmm.
Nordoff and Robbins,
Hmm.
and it generated a bunch of money for youth that need therapy and come to this musical therapy idea. And so these musical therapy sessions, it ended up paying for like 100 sessions for these kids. It was
Wow.
just it blew my mind. So um, and they handled all that. Knopfler's team did. But the first run was that little all mahogany guitar I did with the Three Sisters inlay. The actual MK guitars came next, and that was the one with Mark and Rudy and I. Same size guitar, but we decided to use a tunnel redwood top because Mark was so enthused with the idea of tunnel redwood and the story behind it. And also I suggested, why don't we take two things from each guitar that you now own and combine them into one and do an MK model, and everybody liked that. And so we did a mahogany single O size, just like the first one, but with a redwood top. And then we did the Tyne bridge, which is a bridge very significant to Mark. In fact, it's on the cover of his recent album, One Deep River.
Yeah.
And we inlaid the Tyne bridge into the 12th fret. So this was the first run was a very me-oriented thing. The second one was a very Mark-oriented and Boswell and Rudy's attached kind of thing. And now the third run I'm doing, right now, we're back to all mahogany top backsides with the Three Sisters inlay. So this run is the exact copy of the guitar that Mark got first, and an exact copy of the guitar that he used, on almost every song on One Deep River, which I can hear the acoustic guitar in the background of songs, and I'm like, that's my guitar. I can't believe it. It's just insane. And so this was a much smaller batch. I'm doing a 12 plus one for Mark. And so these are the only ones that are kind of a standardized repeating model.
Yeah.
And I'm only doing them as these special projects. And after this run of 12, I don't think I'm going to do any more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, get your order in, I guess, huh?
Well, they're sold.
They're sold?
All the slots are gone.
Dang.
Yeah. And I have enough custom orders already on the books. I think I have enough for about 2.5 years of work.
That's amazing.
And Rudy is like, when are you going to start making me guitars again? Like he's ready, and we're going to be building and displaying guitars in his Soho location in New York. So I got a lot of work to do.
I haven't been to his shop in New York, but next time I'm in the city, I'm going to make it a priority.
Well, he has two.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one in Scarsdale,
Okay.
New York, and he's got one in downtown in Soho. And the one in Soho is exciting.
Yeah.
And when I went over to New York about, 6-8 months ago when I stayed at my buddy's apartment, and we did a little show there. That's when Mark called, and Rudy was like, Butch, look, he showed his phone. It's like Mark Knopfler. I'm like, I'm not here. He's like, what do you mean you're not here? He's calling because you're here.
Yeah.
And the Soho location, we did most of the time I was out there, we spent at the Soho location. Cool. And when Rudy was like, we want to move all your stuff from here on out of the Scarsdale shop. I think he's going to reduce the size of his Scarsdale shop a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he's got incredible inventory at the Scarsdale shop, but just not as many people go up to Scarsdale as they go to the Soho shop.
Yeah.
So he wants to beef up his Soho location, move me over there, and I'm excited about that because that's where stuff just sells like that. So
yeah. Well, Butch, it's been an amazing conversation. I love the story. I mean, I can't imagine a cooler thing to happen to somebody who builds something. I mean, it's just the coolest. It's amazing.
It's been a ton of fun. Yeah.
I bet. Well, thanks so much for your time, and
absolutely.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
All right.